Hey there, RMPs and responders. Chrissy Brooks here to go through this week's hypothetical for week ending March 1st. So almost into March. Wow, I can't believe it. So we're going to talk about flammable, I believe flammable liquids today. So we are going to read through our decision tree, reading every word out loud because it's good practice. Keeps our mind fresh so that we know what we're doing. All right, so this is our situation. A box with a flammable liquid diamond hazard label and UPS hazardous material shipping papers, UN 1090 acetone 3 packing group 2, is wet and leaking in a trailer. There's a small puddle of liquid on the floor of the trailer that appears to be coming from this box. When you open the box, there are 4 750 milliliter bottles of acetone. One has a loose cap, one is cracked, and the other 2 are covered in residue. There's a strong odor, but there are no fumes that irritate the skin, eyes, or throat, no visible fumes, smoke, or irritating odors, making anyone feel ill. You test the pH and it comes out at a 4. Answer the questions below based on this scenario. So, which box is the decision tree going to lead us to? I'm going to let you go through your revised October 2023 leaking package decision tree. So go ahead and pause the video and we will come back once you've got your decision. All right, so as you're reading through the decision tree, up here in our first box, we're going to get nose. It's going to take us over here to our other box, which is, again, going to be nose. We're going to come over here. It's not on our prohibited list. It's also not on our allowed in the system, but we don't clean it up list. Takes us over here. Remember, the only time we say yes in this green box is if it is an edible liquid. Otherwise, it's a no. So no ends us up down here in the yellow box. We need to have a UPS designated responder doing the cleanup on this. We're going to mark yellow box, and we are going to turn to our flammable solids or flammable liquid response page. So let's go ahead and find that response sheet. It looks like it is page 7 in your decision tree. So as we are reading through this, hazards may contact may irritate or burn skin or eyes. Fire may produce irritating or poisonous gas, may be poison if it's inhaled, swallowed, or absorbed through the skin. Heat, spark, or flames may ignite material. This is why it's important that we are not using a metal dustpan or a broom that has any kind of metal on it, because we don't want to create any sparks. Heat, sparks, or flames, we just talked about that, may ignite the material. Vapors may travel to a source of ignition and flash back. The material may be toxic as well as flammable. The personal protective equipment you're going to wear is going to be your goggles, boots, apron, gloves. Response action steps, we are going to keep all sources of ignition away from the substance. We're going to avoid any activity that will cause the material to become airborne. We're going to skip 3 because we've got a liquid. Whenever possible, use Zepsorbent until all liquids are absorbed. Stir with a wooden stirring stick until the mixture has the right consistency for Zep. Clay-based absorbent can be used if Zep is not available. So A, we're going to tear off approximately 5 inches of pH indicator tape and immerse it in the spilled liquid. So there we go. Check our pH right there. If the test indicates that the spilled material is an alkali or acid, carefully apply sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate mixed with acids producing a fizzing reaction. However, when it's mixed with alkalines, there is no fizzing reaction. This one is an acid. We got a pH of 4, so we're probably going to get some fizzing. Totally normal. If the pH indicates that the spill is not an acid, move to step 5 below. Retest the spilled material with the pH tape to ensure that the pH is within the neutral range of 6 to 9. If pH is not within the neutral range, carefully reapply sodium bicarbonate and retest until the spilled material is neutralized. Spills with noxious odors or fumes spread activated carbon, our carbon is not an approved universal absorbent. So on this situation where it said that it had a strong odor, but it wasn't necessarily burning the nose or making anyone sick, this is where you can get that activated carbon out. You can take your little jug of activated carbon and sprinkle some of that carbon. That's going to help with the smell so that it's maybe not quite so strong. So go ahead, use that carbon. We're not going to put a ton of carbon on there and absorb it with the carbon. We're going to do that with ZEP, but we can mix carbon into this to help with the smell. Use a wooden stir stick to rotate the carbon until all liquids are solidified. Place the absorbed material into a lined spill tray using a plastic shovel, fiber broom, and/or plastic dustpan. Ensure all spill residue is removed from the spill location. Transport the package to the package center or service center for further processing. Waste disposal and decontamination. In UPS small package, the designated responder shall refer to the waste disposal flowchart for proper disposition of this package contents and contaminated packaging or debris. The salvageable portion of any package with hazardous material shipping papers must be repacked in a salvage drum and returned to the shipper. All non-waste must be properly bagged and labeled before we dispose of it into the trash. Refer to the decontamination checklist after the response and disposal process is complete. Decontaminate any area of the body or equipment that may have been exposed by utilizing the decontamination checklist. So after we do the cleanup, we want to go to our, it's your tab right here, Waste Disposal and Decontamination. So if we flip to that page, this right here is going to tell us how we need to clean up our PPE. I encourage you, if your PPE is saturated, just go ahead and throw it into your green bag. But if you just got a little bit on you, use this decontamination checklist. We can clean up that PPE. It gives you a step-by-step exactly how to do it. So go ahead and refer to that when you need to. All right, so we're going to go on to our next page here. Can you sign into the MFA page? I hope you're getting a yes on this one. If not, be reaching out to that health and safety supervisor. Unfortunately, for a lot of you, we need you to reach out to your health and safety supervisor. And a lot of times, if you've had a token before, you have to call the help desk. If you've had a token before, sometimes certain things are getting turned off. Sometimes they're not. So give the help desk a call first before you call your health and safety supervisor to see what they say that you need. You might need ETT access requested again. You might just need your token access requested again. It might just be a switch that they have to flip because you have an old request sitting out there, something. So call tech support first, then get a hold of us. I verify that I can sign in to ETT with my generated password with my token. So again, I hope you're getting a yes on that one. Next page, I know that I need to use the waste disposal flowchart electronically for every leaker that I am going to dispose of, and I know how to get to it. If you don't, click right here. This YouTube video is going to tell you exactly how to get to the waste disposal flowchart. So we're going to mark yes on this one, and let's go through our waste disposal flowchart. So we have a spilled leaking liquid or powder package that has been surrendered to the DMP, spilled outside of a vehicle except for inside of a facility, or entered a drain, or has a reportable quantity listed on the shipping papers. All no. Does the spilled product fall into one of these categories? Contains nicotine or other acute hazardous waste, biohazard substance or biomedical, pressurized cylinder, DEA controlled substance, pharmaceuticals, or explosives. Again, that's all no. Are the contents verified as non via ETT? No. Acetone is not a non. So is the sum of the remaining liquids of the same product 3 gallons or more, or giving off a noxious odor, or hydrofluoric acid? Now this giving off a noxious odor right here, so we could have a yes or a no on this one. If you have something that has a really, really strong smell and you have 4 jugs of it like we do right now, they're only 750 milliliters, which a regular size bottle of wine is 750 milliliters. So thinking about that, that's not going to be more than that 3 gallons. But if this stuff has got a really strong smell, we can do it as a damage with liquid present. So if we've got that really strong smell, but this one we put our activated carbon on it, so we're going to say it does not have a bad smell. We're going to go with this green box down here. So we are going to follow the applicable DMP procedures listed in the Operator's Quick Reference Guide. I'm going to go down here, and pick this one. Go on here to our next page. Do you know what a RCRA clean container is and what do we do with them? So the RCRA clean container again is your empty bottle. So we've poured all of our acetone out. We've solidified it. Now we have just the empty plastic jug. That's considered a RCRA clean container. And you know what we do with them? We throw them away. They don't go in the green bag. We want to keep that container out of the hazardous waste stream. So we're going to throw it away into the trash can once it's empty. What tool do we use that tells us how to dispose of hazardous materials? Our waste disposal flow charts. Hopefully the hint in that one helped you out. I've completed my DOK for responder or RMP. Hopefully you've got it already done. Again, this isn't something that health and safety monitors. This is monitored by the operations. I just basically have the question on here to remind you to get her done. And so which operation do you work for? We are going to do our drop downs. And as always, I always use my son. Where am I? Oh, because it's not called Monarch, it's called Papillion. All right, so go ahead, drill down to yourself. I'm not going to submit this for my son, but that's how you should do it. Find your division, find your center, find your last name, your first name, your employee number should pop right in there. Then you gotta click this last brown button. If you don't click this brown button, you're not getting credit. So make sure that we're clicking on this brown button, and then you're all done. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.